Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Thanks for being here. Starting off another week. This one falling on a Monday, of course, also the 7th day of October, and on a rainy day of October. I think we'll get a few more chances to say that this month. Of course, we went for more than a month and didn't have a chance of saying a rainy day. And on that note, we've got a lot of things to talk about weather-wise as far as burn bans, status there, and looking ahead. You wanted changes. We've got changes in your forecast, to say the least. A cold front giving us showers that are dwindling and winding down now at this hour. Some folks seeing as much as an inch, and actually some folks seeing an inch, some folks seeing as much as 2 or 3 inches of rain, much needed rain, not causing any problems anywhere over the course of the last 24 hours or so. We have temperatures that are going to be below normal today, maybe again tomorrow. They're going to go a bit above normal, and then it's what we could see for your weekend, depending on a lot of cold air that could make its way into this part of the world and others. We'll talk about that in just a few seconds. Now, a lot of folks say we just knew we were going to go straight into winter. Well, maybe not that bad, but it's going to be cool on a couple of nights and mornings. As for the rain, well, for some parts of Kentucky, it was almost 40 days without any rainfall measurable whatsoever. About half of that time, most all of those counties, including all of McGoffin and the surrounding counties, were under a burn ban because of the dry conditions. Well, and with some folks seeing upwards of 2 and 3 inches of rain, not everyone seeing enough, those burn bans have officially been lifted. Here in McGoffin County, Judge Executive Matt Wireman lifted that burn ban officially this morning. However, he, as well as we, want to remind everyone that it is still forest fire hazard season. That season always from the 1st of October through December the 15th, which means you still can't burn anything after 6 a.m. and not until after 6 p.m. So during the day, essentially, morning and early evening, you can't burn anything. You can burn if you're 150 feet away from any brushland before 6 or after 6 p.m. Keep that in mind. So we're still under the forest fire hazard season. You know, and a little bit of comparison, of course, we're now out of September. We went from the wettest September ever last year on record to one where we had 0 measurable rain. That's just Kentucky weather for you. With this rain, there has been a slew of accidents over the course of the past couple of days, as you can very well imagine. One accident not related to the rain was actually over the course of the weekend when 2 teenagers in Johnson County were seriously injured. A total of 6 vehicles involved in a crash on Starfire Hill. I know that there was one collision head-on, and that was also resulted in several other collisions with other vehicles crashing into those or other cars. One person ejected, 2 teenagers both seriously hurt, both airlifted ultimately to other medical facilities. I think one has since been released, both expected to recover from their injuries, but it was what I'm told was a very serious and scary accident. Here in Sagersville, a few minor accidents related to the wet roads, including one this morning on the Mountain Parkway. There were a few minor auto accidents yesterday, this one as well, this one having a little more potential to have been serious. A couple, I believe, from another county traveling through McGoffin County, the driver of which lost control of the pickup truck on rain-slickened roads near the Morgan-McGoffin County line on the Mountain Parkway. You can see several of the what were to be new guardrail posts, which had been installed with the guardrail not attached, were run over, the vehicle coming to rest on top of a few of them. Both occupants refused medical treatment at the scene. I am told, however, that they may have gone via personal vehicle after the scene was cleared. And even though roads have been treacherously slick for the past couple of days due to the absence of rain and finally getting some, this was the only accident that I have to report on this evening in McGoffin County. However, there could have been dozens. From here on out, our local headlines, in addition to the weather, calendar, and the like, we'll talk about a busy weekend for authorities. The Sagersville Police Department, the McGoffin County Sheriff's Department, departments from out of the county. There were 2 police pursuits in McGoffin County over the course of the weekend. One, a man on a motorcycle nearly hitting dozens of vehicles head-on and otherwise, passing a school bus as well. Another police pursuit that began in Floyd County and ended here in McGoffin County. And then another arrest as well. A woman found to have cut her believed to be husband, and also being armed and dangerous, or to be considered as such, from another state. I'll be right back.
Dr. Jason Zimmerman at Highlands ARH, the healthcare system of Appalachia.
SSI and disability cases are harder to win these days. You need all the help you can get. If the government has turned you down, I will not. Many factors are considered when a claim is being processed, like your age, education, physical, and mental disabling conditions. When it comes time to winning your disability case, you should not face a federal judge alone. You need an attorney who is experienced, determined, hardworking, knowledgeable, and dedicated to helping you win benefits that you deserve. If you need help with your SSI or disability case, call me, Donald Wayne McFarland, and let me go to work for you.
Right now, for pennies on the dollar, a huge selection of like-new laptop computers, a fresh stock of video games, the Cadillac of dog tracking and training systems, new hunting rifles, accessories, and ammo. And they always stock, buy, sell, and pawn gold and silver coins and jewelry with a new selection just in at Parkway Gun and Pawn in Sagersville, 349 Pawn. It can be one of the hardest parts of being a parent. You can beg them, bribe them, hold them down and try to force them, and sometimes you still can't get them to take their medicine. Well, problem solved at Parkway Pharmacy with Flavor X. Let your kids customize their medicine with some of the best flavors that really do taste great, and it's totally free with your child's prescription at Parkway Pharmacy. So stop the suffering, theirs and yours, for free, and get your Flavor X flavored medicines at Parkway Pharmacy in Sagersville. From brakes, exhaust, suspension, fluid changes, to expert collision and auto body, to turning your 4x4 or diesel from mild to wild, get real auto maintenance, paint, and repair at Black Smoke Performance in Dixie of Sagersville. 349-8785. Certainly a busy weekend for local authorities. A common thread to the three cases that I have to report, at least one common thread of which is Officer Jeremy Watson with the Sagersville Police Department, who was involved in all cases over the course of the weekend, and he'll give us some remarks in just a second on all three, but also McGough County Sheriff's Department as well, the state police, Floyd County officials as well, involved in one of the three incidents. There were two police pursuits that took place over the course of the weekend. One involving a man on a motorcycle. The complaint coming in Friday afternoon that he was traveling at a high and dangerous rate of speed in Dixie of Sagersville. Officer Jeremy Watson was the Sagersville police officer that got the call. He pulled into Dixie and waited at the Sagersville First Baptist Church. Just seconds later, the motorcycle blew by on a wheelie, on its rear wheel, if you will. The officer turned on his emergency lights and siren pulled in behind the car, and that's when a several miles-long chase began through multiple parts of McGough County on 460, on the Mountain Parkway, Route 7, towards Royalton and Sandbottom, before the suspect finally crashed after narrowly hitting, I believe, Sheriff Carson Montgomery and Officer Jeremy Watson with his motorcycle as they were standing outside their vehicles trying to get him to stop.
It happened here on Church Street is where it started. Started at the mouth of Dixie, come through the light, went left towards the Bloomington area. We made it to Gifford Road, and it diverted back to the Mountain Parkway. On 460 West, speeds they exceeded over 80 miles per hour. When we got on the parkway, they exceeded 100, and that's when we decided that it was really, really unsafe for him and the rest of the cars on the parkway, and went ahead and called the pursuit off.
Watson says throughout the entirety of the chase, just as he is here, the motorcyclist was traveling on the wrong side of the road at many times, passing on double yellow lines, nearly hitting either head-on or rear-ending dozens of vehicles while traveling at a high rate of speed through Sagersville, down 460 onto Gifford Road. That's how he got over to the Parkway. Once getting onto the Parkway, he then turned east and came back towards Sagersville. That's where, as you heard Watson say, officers gave up the pursuit at a high rate of speed, but proceeded on into Sagersville, where Watson actually says he saw some unsettled dust at the mouth of Hess Drive in the downtown area, and that's where he pulled into.
We kept our distance, a couple car lengths behind him. He turned onto Hess Drive, and if anybody's familiar with Hess Drive, it's just past Dixie if you're coming into town. Then it began on foot. He was still on the motorcycle in some residential yards, and that's when a taser was deployed. The bottom probe of our taser missed, and he continued on his motorcycle, and that's when the McGough County Sheriff's Office picked it up.
Officer Watson says that when he pulled on to Hess Drive, he didn't initially see the motorcycle or its operator, but that when he got out of his car and walked behind a residence, he saw this man still on his motorcycle, but with his feet on the ground, talking on his cell phone. The man started to take off once seeing the officer. That's when Watson says he deployed his taser, with one probe not making any contact with the operator. While Watson gave pursuit on foot and then ran back to his vehicle, that's where the Sheriff's Department picked up the chase right around the McGough County Rescue Squad building as Michael Sloan led them on another high-speed pursuit, this time up Route 7 towards the Royalton and Sandbottom area. With McGough County Sheriff's Deputy Brian Tipton also describing the pursuit to Sandbottom as being very dangerous, Sloan operating his motorcycle at a continued high rate of speed, nearly hitting either head-on or rear-ending numerous vehicles, passing on the double yellow line, traveling in the opposite lane of traffic, all the way to Sandbottom, where he turned onto a dead end, and as soon as authorities realized that, they blocked his only exit. He turned around, came out. They were out of their vehicles with their weapons, and those officers were forced to jump out of the way, narrowly escaping being struck by the motorcycle as Sloan continued to flee. However, as he did, he lost control of the motorcycle, struck, I believe, not one but two fences, a row of mailboxes, and was thrown from the bike, allowing authorities to take him into custody.
I think he thought it was funny to begin with, because he was trying to do some hand gestures like peace sign, and he waved at us a few times. He didn't really seem to care too much about how he was driving or the value of life for the innocent cars and stuff that he had met head on. I believe it might have just been where he was intoxicated.
30-year-old Michael W. Sloan was charged with reckless driving, 2 counts of fleeing and evading police in the first degree, wanton endangerment in the first degree of a police officer driving under the influence, passing a loading or unloading school bus, no helmet, and he was also charged with possession of a controlled substance in the first for a quantity of what was believed to be methamphetamine that was found in his wallet following his arrest. The second police pursuit, I believe, Saturday night, this involved a woman from Floyd County. Watson also telling me that he received a call to assist the McGough County Sheriff's Department, who had already been notified of a police pursuit that was coming into McGough County near the Floyd-McGough County line on Kentucky Route 114. They were able to slow the vehicle, divert it. The vehicle then, via, of course, the driver, made a U-turn again to attempt to elude authorities, but was blocked in.
She dispatched a deputy that there was a pursuit coming towards the Sayersville area. We assisted the McGough County Sheriff's Office with that. I got to the parkway first. The sheriff's deputy was behind me. We both were trying to get to the intersection of 114 and 460 and was going to try and block the road off there to keep the pursuit coming from downtown, coming towards Restaurant Row or Sayersville area. And when we got there, they had just got there, and the vehicle turned onto 460 New Paintsville Road. I got in front of the vehicle, and we got her slowed down to a speed that we could box her in. She figured out what we were trying to do. She turned completely around, faced the opposite direction, and tried to go back the way she came. And we was able to get turned around, get her boxed in, and got her stopped before she made it back to the intersection.
These are a couple of still images from the scene after the suspect made that U-turn and authorities were able to box her in and stop her. As you heard Officer Watson describe, she was removed from her Jeep SUV and questioned on the scene. She was identified later as being a Floyd County woman, Rebecca L. Howard, who, from what we understand, had either gone through or avoided a traffic safety checkpoint in Prestonsburg, which is what initiated this pursuit that began in Floyd County and came to an end here in Sagersville. She's facing 4 felony charges here in Magoffin County for trafficking in a controlled substance, that being for a baggie which contained 32 Percocets that they found lying in the floorboard of her vehicle, as well as fleeing or evading police in the first degree, wanton endangerment of a police officer in the first degree, and prescription in its improper container. She's also facing numerous Floyd County charges as well. Howard was taken back to the Floyd County Detention Center and lodged on the Magoffin and Floyd County charges. Another arrest making the headlines. I'll have those details gathered for you in just a few moments. Right now, somewhat of a brief community calendar, but a couple of events, benefits, and otherwise set to take place in the next couple of days. All brought to you nightly, of course, as our calendar is, by Magoffin Farm Bureau. First up, a ladies' and men's fellowship group event at the Burning Fork Community Church. They're hosting a fish fry this Friday, and they're going to do it 2 times on Friday, from 11:30 till 1 for lunch, and then for the evening meal, 4 to 7. The menu: deep-fried, heavenly tasting fish, hush puppies, fries, coleslaw, and a delightful dessert. There's plenty of room and a wonderful atmosphere to eat at the church, or you can carry it out, just $10 per plate. Proceeds will be used to assist the Ladies and Men's Fellowship Ministry outreach events. That's Friday, 11:30 to 1 and 4 to 7. There's going to be a benefit Saturday from 5 to 8 at the Sagersville Dairy Queen in an effort to raise funds to cover traveling expenses for Vanessa Stapleton's family as they visit her in the medical facility she's in. They're going to have several singers, a raffle, crafts to be sold, bring a lawn chair, and help support Vanessa Stapleton and her family. Saturday, 5 o'clock at the Sagersville Dairy Queen. If you've got an announcement that includes birthdays and anniversaries, you can get them on the show by just following any of the links here on your screen. With that said, as we go on, we do have one funeral service announcement for this Monday. It comes in honor of 81-year-old Yolanda Craft of Spruce Pine, who passed away yesterday. She was married to Felton Craft, who preceded her in death. Yolanda is survived by her daughter, Alfreda Craft. Visitation starts tomorrow night after 6, and services are set to begin in her honor Wednesday afternoon at 1, all from the Magoffin County Funeral Home. We have finally done it. After years and years of extensive testing, we not only invented the chicken sandwich, we have perfected the chicken sandwich. Come and try it and love it with a big, famous dipped breast strip, pickles and mayonnaise, or however you like it fixed. And if you like, make it a double. Just make your way to Lee's to get it and grab a cookie while you're there. At your Sagersville Lee's famous recipe, where even our ice is famous. Getting the best deal on the best tires with the best service has never been easier. Just log on to ConleyTire.net, check out the latest rebates, sales, and promotions, pick out the tires you want, and email, call, or come by for huge savings from the family who's been proudly serving the area for over 32 years. Conley Tire in Staffordsville, 297-2424. You're going to absolutely fall in love with all the new arrivals at the seasonal shop, from all the autumn colors and styles in ladies' designs, shoes and accessories, Charlie Page, Mud Pie, you know the name brands, to jewelry, Simply Southern, Natural Life, caps, cups, and more, to rooms of home decor. and all you'll need to decorate for the fall and Halloween seasons, plus everything from coffees to candles. But hurry, because everything Christmas is already arriving daily and will be out soon, and fall will be gone before you know it. At Frazier's Prater Drugs Seasonal Shop in downtown Sayersville. Whether it's diabetes, arthritis, or injury causing you foot and ankle problems, or excruciating pain in your heel that's often easily treatable, Dr. Cheryl Cheney has over 21 years in group and private practice as one of the region's leading podiatrists, and she's now practicing right here in Sayersville. Dr. Cheryl Stalder Cheney is now seeing new patients, young and old, at Hope Family Podiatry Center in Sayersville, just next to the Lee's Famous Recipe. Call for an appointment today. At Sayersville National Bank, they know your house is much more than your home. It's an investment, and for many of us, the biggest we'll ever make. And whether it's for needed repairs and maintenance, or a new addition or renovation to give you some more room and more equity, let Sayersville National Bank deal with all the financial work and worry. Real and real competitive, hometown, homegrown, home improvement loans at Sayersville National. Saturday night here in Sayersville, local police got a call, a complaint about a domestic type situation on Route 40, about 1,000 feet out of the downtown area or so. Sayersville police officer, again, Jeremy Watson, was called to assist on that domestic situation in regards to a man who had called saying that he had been cut by a knife, that he was bleeding. He was found at that residence on Route 40. Authorities quickly called EMS. The man claiming that his wife was intoxicated, had cut him, and had left the residence with a small child with her. And while authorities were tending to that individual, the wife pulled back in that van but refused to stop or get out of the vehicle.
She ignored several commands to stop the vehicle before she pulled into the driveway. When she did pull into the driveway, she did not go to the park position. The deputy that was there on scene, he got her to put it in the park position. As I got to the vehicle, I could just tell with the slurred speech she had. You could smell alcohol coming from the vehicle. She had a young infant in the front seat with her. Was not in a restraint of any kind. We asked her to step out of the vehicle. When she stepped out, she had blood on her arms, her pants, her hands. She was barefooted. She had blood on her feet.
With that blood apparently from the male or husband that she had allegedly cut, per his statements to authorities. As for the 3-year-old that was not in a child safety seat in the front seat of that van, social services were called and the child was placed in temporary foster care per the ongoing investigation. The van had California tags, which were no good. There was no insurance on the vehicle. And then after looking further into her information, they found that 35-year-old Natasha Danielle Marshall had several outstanding warrants and was considered to be armed and dangerous from another state.
She submitted to a portable breath test, which is a PBT. It showed that she was well above the limit of alcohol. At that point, that's when I felt that it was safe to just go ahead and put her in handcuffs and not risk her injuring herself or anybody else. Once we got her in my vehicle, that's when we found out via dispatch that she was wanted out of Illinois, and she was categorized as a armed and dangerous person.
The exact charges or warrant that she was said to be considered armed and dangerous out of another state are not clear at this time. We're still trying to find those. With that said, let's talk about your weather real quickly. It's going to be a wild one. I think a lot of folks, I've heard at least 2 or 3 say that we're going to go straight from summer to winter. That's just how Kentucky does sometimes. And, well, they're not far off the mark. There's one event that always has to happen for the first time of the fall season. It could be at the end of your forecast. And those people might not be wrong, and it wouldn't be the first time we've seen that scenario. It's not going to be that drastic, but it's close. A low of 49 degrees tonight, mostly cloudy skies as you've seen, and those showers dwindling to an end with about a 30% chance of a few more scattered ones carrying us through about 10 o'clock or so tonight. Tomorrow, the clouds will hold tough. We won't see any more rain, and we'll see temperatures right around 65 degrees tomorrow. I think we hit about 58, 59 here in the latter afternoon today. But 65, mostly cloudy and dry tomorrow. 53 tomorrow night. Some patchy fog after 1 in the a.m. tomorrow night. It's really the only thing on the weather forecast besides the clouds, or in the forecast for tomorrow besides the clouds. Wednesday, the clouds part. With that, the sun warms us up to about 77 degrees for your Wednesday. 77 and 54 to be exact. I hate to use the word exact anytime in the weather forecast, but I just did. Nevertheless, clear skies will continue Wednesday night. Thursday, a little warmer still, pushing close to 80, mostly sunny. 79, still clear that night. 54 degrees again for nighttime lows. And just a bit warmer still into your Friday. We have 80 degrees set for the last day of the work week. Mostly sunny and 80 and partly cloudy that night, and a low of 51. And then that is the end of the warmer air for a while, because with a front that comes into town Friday night into your Saturday, we'll only see about 69 for your Saturday. A 30% chance of showers, partly sunny. Drier on your Sunday, sunny and clear though, and daytime highs right around 67. And what you're seeing there on those 2 days is not a misprint. That's the upper 30s staring at us. 39 or so on your Saturday, 38 or so on your Sunday, with those clear skies Sunday in the upper 30s. Yeah, it's possible. I'm not going to say the word, but it's possible. We'll keep a close eye on that throughout the rest of the week, see if it's going to be the first one or not. Monday, which is also Columbus Day, sunny and 70. That's just getting us started. I think it's still a few things from over the course of the weekend to investigate and look into for news, as well as other things we've already got set on our calendar for the rest of the week. We're just one day in. Hope to see you here for the rest of it starting tomorrow night. Thanks for watching.